Greetings. How are you? Can you hear me? Please let me know how's the audio. Is it loud enough? If you have any question, please type them in the commentary box and I will try to answer them as best as I can. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. We have 8 people watching right now and no one has yet sent in any commentary. Okay, check link 10. Greetings, Ajahn. Audio is good. Good to see you again, hear from you again in your text message. If you have any questions, go ahead and send them in. I thought I'll use this method this time rather than the Zoom method. Maybe it's easier for lots of you who doesn't like to appear on the screen, but like to ask questions. Kenny Hunt, Switzerland. Good evening, Ajahn. Can hear clearly. Thank you. Sean Kerr, audio sounds good. Hirosha, Namaskar Ajahn, sound and picture good. Thank you. Jay Chudasama, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. I choose this time to come on live because it's in a different time zone. I can reach different people. If I come on in the evening, my time, have a lot of Malaysian, Singaporean, and Indonesian. But with this time, I have more people from Europe, from America coming on, and Australia also from Hirosha. Everybody should be mindful all the time if it is possible. Try not to think too much. Because whatever you think, it will be gone. And it keeps wearing down your mind more than anything else. So it's better not to think. When your mind don't think, your mind becomes peaceful, calm, and happy. Kritanan Dantavibun, กราบนมัสการขอรับ Nothing in this world is more important than the mind. Because the mind is the one that becomes happy or sad by its own action. So we should watch the mind's action. Make sure that the mind's action brings peace and happiness rather than stress and restlessness and agitation. Here's a question from Check Link 10. Dear Ajahn, you taught us that when listening to Dhamma talk, we should concentrate and not do anything else. I have also heard you mention that we can use Dhamma talk as a meditation object. May I know what is the difference? See, when you listen to Dhamma talk, the Dhamma that you listen should be the object of your concentration. You listen and you don't understand uh, the Dhamma that you are listening, at least you are focusing on the sound of the Dhamma talk. And this can calm your mind and give you samadhi. If you understand what you're listening to, you can become enlightened. Like during the time of the Buddha, when he gave Dhamma talk, people pay close attention because they have sila and samadhi already. So the body action becomes still, no talking, and the mind action also becomes still. The mind becomes calm and have equanimity, ready to receive the wisdom from the Buddha. And when they receive the wisdom of the Buddha, they can become enlightened while they're listening to the Dhamma talk. But if you listen to Dhamma talk and do something else, then your mind will be flipping back and forth, not focused on the Dhamma talk alone. So you can miss some of the Dhamma talk and you won't be able to understand what you were listening to. So it's best when you listen to Dhamma talk, use the Dhamma talk as your object of concentration, of focus. Then you would either have samadhi, calm, if you don't understand the meaning of the Dhamma that you listen to. If you understand, then you can get wisdom or become enlightened. From J. Shuddhasama, yes, nice audio sound. From Panda, C. Kanison, กราบ นมัสการ ค่ะ From Megawati Lao, Sadhu, Sadhu. Niroja, can you kindly explain the experience breathing chitta? Uh, Niroja, I don't think I understand this question. I'm not sure what you mean by breathing chitta. The mind doesn't breathe. It's the body that breathes. The mind just know and think. When you watch the breath, you want to force the mind to stop thinking. When the mind stops thinking, then the mind becomes peaceful, calm, and happy. And you can then see the knowing citta or the knowing mind. Then you know that the knowing mind and the body are two separate entities. And you know how to protect your mind, keep your mind peaceful and happy when things happen to the body. All you need to do is to calm your mind, focus your mind on your breath, and then whatever happens to the body will not hurt the mind because the mind will be calm, peaceful. So we have to keep practicing samadhi or meditation to have full control of the mind, to keep the mind calm and peaceful under any circumstances, whether it is sick, whether the body is sick or dying. The mind can become peaceful and happy. From Christine Kutkowski. Hello, Tanajan. Glad to see you. Glad you feel better. Thank you, Christine. How are you today? Are you developing mindfulness all the time? You should. It's the best thing for you, really. When you have mindfulness, you can control your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your dukkha. From Satyaku, good morning, Ajahn. Greetings from London. We are so humbled to be able to meet such an illustrious teacher as Ajahn, who has utmost selflessness in your efforts to help us liberate ourselves from samsara. Thank you, Ajahn, for not giving on some of us who are still striving and still not able to graduate. This is what my teachers did for me. He tried to instill Dhamma. He tried to inspire us to see the importance of the Dhamma practice tirelessly. So I could understand, appreciate the effort by the teacher. Because as students, we need teachers to guide us, to inspire us. Without teachers, we will have defilement as our teacher. From Nirosha, the sorry Ajahn, it should be worded as breathing, experiencing the citta in Satipatthana Sutta. I guess it means that when you focus on your breathing, you will eventually experience the mind, the knowing mind, see the knowing mind. See, normally the knowing mind is blocked by the thinking mind. But as you keep focusing on your breathing mind, keep focusing on your breathing, then eventually your thinking mind will stop thinking. Then it will disappear. Then all that is left is the knowing mind. That's when the mind becomes fully concentrated, having equanimity and ekakatarom, oneness. That's when you experience the knowing mind, the citta. From Gavin Dipong. Hello, Ajahn. At first, during samatha bhavana, when the breath would become very subtle, I would gasp for breath. I have since passed this point according to your teaching. But sometime now, when my breath completely disappears, I don't know what to focus on, so the breath returns. When the breath disappears, just focus on the disappearance, on the emptiness, or focus on the knowing mind. Just watch, make sure that the thinking mind doesn't reappear. By using your mindfulness, you can stop your thinking mind and maintaining your knowing mind. If there's no breath to watch, then don't worry. Or don't search for breath. Because then your mind will be working again and thinking again. And then you will then come back to your breath. Am I still lacking mindfulness and still scared of dying for lack of breath? Maybe it's just your habit that you have to feel the breath. When you don't feel the breath, you start looking for it. You should looking for the breath when it disappears. Just focus on the knowing mind itself, knowing that there is no breath. What should I focus on when the breath is completely gone? That's what I said. Just focus on the emptiness, on the knowing mind. Make sure that you are not bringing the thinking mind back by grasping or looking for the breath. Don't worry about death. When you meditate, you don't die from meditating. From Satyaku, the Ajahn, can you please explain who is it that is enlightened when there is no I? The knowing mind is the one who becomes enlightened. Right now, the knowing mind is delusion, is delusional. It's being influenced by the defilement to not seeing things as they really are. So when you teach the mind the truth, then the knowing mind is the one who becomes enlightened. You use the thinking mind to teach the knowing mind with the wisdom of the Buddha. If we don't come across the teaching of the Buddha, we would not know the the truth of all things. We will be taught by our deluded mind to think that there is a self, there is a permanent in things, but in truth there is no permanent or self in anything. So you use the teaching mind to the thinking mind to teach the knowing mind. Use the teaching of the Buddha through the thinking mind to teach the knowing mind to see that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then the knowing mind will become enlightened and then let go of all the attachment, letting go of all the defilements. Visakha Chu, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. From KB Leong, good morning Ajahn. Sometimes I was careless in my practice in metta, sila and bhavana, making the progress slow and not progress letting the defilements win. Can Ajahn advise how to be less careless in my practice? You just have to remind yourself to be careful all the time, to be mindful all the time. By starting from the time when you wake up. As soon as you wake up, if you want to be mindful, you recite the mantra right away. Don't let your mind think without any direction. Think only what you have to think. And when you don't have to think, then you should stop your thinking by reciting a mantra, reciting some chanting. Try to do as much chanting or reciting the mantra as much as possible when you prepare yourself for your day, like when you washing your face, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, dressing, eating. Try not to think. Try to use mantra, keep reciting mantra. Try to focus on what you do. Then you will have mindfulness. Then you'll be practicing because you need mindfulness to be able to practice metta, sila, and bhavana properly. From Shankar, are karma and morality the same thing? Morality is good karma. When you abstain from killing, you are doing good karma. you're not doing bad karma. So in a way, you are doing good karma when you're not doing bad karma. Or are they two things that overlap in some ways? Morality is the abstention from doing bad karma. So when you don't doing bad karma, you are considered to be doing good karma. Could we compare two actions where one action is worse karmically, but the other action is morally worse? If it's a bad karma, it's morally worse, regardless what type of bad karma you do. Killing, stealing, committing adultery, lying, drinking, alcohol. These are all considered to be bad karma and bad, morally bad. Or do karma and morality always overlap exactly? Bad karma brings bad morality. That's all. Good karma brings good morality. This is the way how I see it. From Czech Link 10, thank you for answering my question, Ajahn. I find that when sick, not having energy to sit or walk meditation, lying down and using Dhamma talk as a meditation object helps calm the mind. Ajahn usually encourages us to do sitting, walking, or standing meditation, not lying meditation, as we can fall asleep easily in that position. I wonder if Ajahn can offer us some tips for lying meditation, if that's the only position we can use at times. For example, when we are sick and too weak. Well, you just meditate as you would sit or standing. You should be mindful of something, focus on something to prevent your mind from thinking. Because usually when the mind thinks, the mind becomes agitated or stressful. So you can do this in your lying position. The only drawback is that you might fall asleep. But then it's probably good when you are sick, you want to rest your body as well. So if you should meditate in your lying position when you're sick and you don't advance or get any samadhi, at least you can then get some sleep that way. But it's rather better to go to sleep than being awake when you are sick. Your body can rest and your mind can also stop thinking about your sickness. So if you cannot do the other position, standing, sitting, or walking, and if you have to lie down, then just meditate, just like the way you would with the other position. But just don't expect the result to be as good as the other position. Or when you are sick, you can also contemplate on sickness, contemplate on the impermanent nature of your body. And then you might be able to become enlightened that way. You might be able to see the body as anatta, not yourself. If you go through the 32 parts and search for the self in the 32 parts in the body, you won't find the self. You'll find that the self is a product of your thoughts. Just like in ancient time when people think the earth is flat. See? The thought of the earth being flat is created by the mind. It is not the truth. The earth is round. So likewise with the body. The body has no self. The body has the 32 parts. So you can search the self in the 32 parts and you'll find that there is no self. They are just the 32 parts. This is a way to see anatta in your body by asking yourself, am I the hair of the head? Am I the hair of the body? Am I the teeth? Am I the skin? So forth. Then you will come to a conclusion there is no self in the body. There are only the 32 parts. Then you can let go of your attachment. Then you'll see that it's not you who gets sick. It is the 32 parts that get sick. From Alfredo Vilela. Hi, Pante. Hi, how are you, Alfredo? I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you are well and happy. From J. Chuda Sama. Ajahn, I'm from London now. I came temple for practice. I'm doing my practice walking and meditating regularly at night, but still my mind like butterfly. When I'm in meditation, I need advice. What should I do? You need more mindfulness. You need to practice mindfulness before you meditate. The way to get mindfulness is to recite a mantra, Bhutto, 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 or do chanting first. If you're moving around doing things, force yourself, force your mind to watch what you're doing. Be careful with what you do. Then you can become mindful that way. Don't let your mind think about the past or the future. Force it to stay in the present by watching what you do, what your body is doing, or reciting a mantra or doing some chanting. If you can keep doing this, you will have stronger mindfulness. And when you meditate, you can then stop your mind from wandering around. And your mind then will eventually become peaceful and calm and happy. Hi, Gu Perry, how are you? Tanajan, good morning from Space Coast, Florida. Is that which perceive dukkha a kilesa? No, the one who perceives dukkha is the one who knows. Under the guidance of mindfulness and wisdom. The mind is like a baby right now. It's ignorant. It's under influence of avijja and defilement. So you need the light of the Dhamma or the wisdom of the Dhamma to teach the mind, the knowing mind, to see the dukkha as being defilement. Because dukkha creates, dukkha is suffering, it's stress. It is kilesa, and it is created by the kilesa of cravings. The three cravings of sensual gratification, craving for being and craving for not being. So this is the wisdom of the Buddha. No one knows this thing except the Buddha. Once he knew that dukkha is created by kilesa, and he stopped the kilesa, and then dukkha will disappear. Then he brings this truth to us so that we can then stop the kilesa. And when we stop the kilesa, we can stop the dukkha. So that which perceives dukkha is not kilesa. That which perceives dukkha is the knowing mind, under the guidance of the wisdom of the Buddha. Without the wisdom of the Buddha, the knowing mind will never know dukkha being created by the kilesa. From Fei Yun Wong, good morning, Ajahn, from Melbourne. Good morning, how are you? Must be about 6 o'clock in Melbourne right now. You're starting your day. Oh, today is Saturday, so you have a day off. But how come you get up so early? You're supposed to be resting and enjoying your day off, your weekend. From Kung King Ratanawong, Satu, Satu. From Go Ching Chuan, Satu. From Nirocha, I get frequent sinus headaches, and I try to meditate without taking any medicine, and it's hard to reach peace. However, if I take medicine, Chitta more easily reach peace. What should be the better way, Ajahn? If you have medicine to take, you should take them. Yeah. But if you don't have, then you shouldn't worry about looking for medicine. Then you should try to meditate without the medicine, if it's possible. If you find focusing on your breath is difficult, then you should use something else, like focusing an image, like an image of the skeleton, for instance. You can use that in place of your breath. Because when you have sinus, you might find it difficult to focus on your breath. Then instead of using your breath, you should use some visual object, like your skeleton, for instance. First, you can take a look at the picture of the skeleton. Then close your eyes and picture the skeleton in your mind. Keep bringing it up until you can see the skeleton continuously. Then your mind can become peaceful and calm this way also. But it's not always good to rely on medicine because there are external uh, refuge which is not reliable. Sometimes you might have it and sometimes you might not have it. So it's better to rely on the internal refuge, which is the mind creating some visual object that the mind can then focus upon to make the mind become calm and peaceful. So think of something. This is what we call kasina meditation, by focusing on a visual object, just such as a skeleton. Or if you like, in the Kammatthana, they recommend visualizing colors, like red color, green color, yellow color, or white color. First, you use your eyes to look at a red color or the color that you choose to focus upon. And then close your eyes and then visualize that color. Bring it up into the mind, up, and keep focusing on that color that you choose. This can replace the breath. It's called kasina practice. From Kung King Ratanawong, Namaskar Prajan. I'm a mom of 2 kids. Sometimes I just feel like I fail in raising kids because sometimes I get on them when they find they did something wrong. Then I myself felt so sad and guilty for getting on them. Then I realized I should be calmer than this. Well, the way you raise kids, you should look at kids not your kids. See? Look as if you are just you are hired by somebody to look after their kids. In that way, you're not so much attached to them, so you don't become emotional when you see them doing something wrong. Try to don't look at your kid as being your kids. Just look at them as being too naughty, kids that you are hired to look after. So you then won't have any emotional attachment to them. If they do something wrong, you don't get mad at them, and then you can deal with them rationally that way. So don't look at them as they belonging to you, because in truth they don't belong to you anyway. When they grow up, then they'll leave you and they'll go have their own family. And then when you die or when they die, you separated from them anyway. So look at it this way. Then you won't become so emotionally involved with them. You just do your duty as a mother, raise them and teach them the right thing. But if they don't want to do it, then that's their business. That's their karma. From Kailin Chompu, Ajahn Ka, when we help people with mental issues, unstable moods, anxiety, what is the best way to advise them? Advise them to stop thinking. Advise them to be mindful by reciting a mantra or chanting or listen to Dhamma talks. Then they can stop thinking. When they stop thinking, then the emotion will also stop. Emotions are created by the thoughts. When they think about something, they become emotionally involved. They reacted emotionally. But when they stop thinking, then there's nothing for them to react to. Then the emotion can disappear. So teach them to stop thinking by reciting a mantra or by chanting or listening to Dhamma talk or focus on the body movement, the body movement. Keep watching what the body is doing. Then they can stop thinking about things that make them unhappy. My friend's mind is weak and he doesn't want to take medication. He said meditation helps, but once he is not meditating, he is back to being unstable, like talking to himself, get easily mad. So he has to keep meditating. He doesn't have to sit to do meditation. Meditation means mindfulness, developing mindfulness. You can do this in all posture, standing, sitting, walking, lying down, or doing something at the time. You can keep reciting the mantra, or keep chanting something repeatedly. You don't have to know the long chant. If you know a short chant, like the blessing of the Buddha, the quality of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, then just keep reciting, chanting that repeatedly again and again. As long as your mind starts to think or keep thinking, then you should chant or reciting the mantra until it stops thinking. Then you can stop chanting and stop reciting the mantra. But when it starts to think, then you should recite the mantra again. From Kung King Ratanawong, my question is, how can I resist myself from not being mad at my kids? You should, you should not expect anything from them, that's the point. You're mad because you expect them to behave or to listen to you. When they behave, they don't listen to you, you become mad. So you have to understand that maybe they cannot hear you, or maybe they refuse to listen to you. And you have to look at them like you're looking at the weather. You cannot control the weather. The same way you cannot always control your kids. If you look at them like you're looking at the weather, then you won't get mad at them because you know you cannot control them all the time. Now you know you cannot control the weather. That's why you never get mad at the weather. So if you don't want to get mad at your kids, you have to look at them as anatta, as being like the weather. When they are sad, that hurts me more than anything. You cannot stop them from being sad. You cannot always make them happy because sadness are created by their own defilements. So you just have to teach them how to deal with sadness or how to not creating sadness by stopping their defilements, greed, hate, and delusion. From KB Leong, Sadhu Ajahn for answer to counter carelessness. In my last meditation, sometimes the pain comes and goes, and sometimes it just stays there, and I was able to stay with it, not moved by posture. I did not experience any peace, just managing and observing the pain. Is this correct, or should I chant a mantra to distract the pain? You can do that too if you like. You can chant or recite a mantra. This will distract your mind from the pain and might make your mind become calm and peaceful that way. If you just keep watching the pain, your mind, deep, your mind might still be wishing for the pain to go away. And this desire for the pain to go away is preventing your mind from becoming peaceful. So yes, if it's possible, don't look at the pain. Use a mantra, chant or chanting to pull your mind away from the pain. Then when you're not looking at the pain or thinking about the pain, then the desire for the pain to disappear will also disappear. Then your mind could become calm that way. From Fei Yun Wang, dear Ajahn, sometimes during meditation, the mind becomes very, very still. And when that happens, there's a small voice at the back of the head that marvels how quiet and still the present is, and how nice that feels. Is that voice coming from the thinking mind or the knowing mind? It doesn't matter. You don't need to know where it comes from. You just be mindful and make sure it doesn't think too much. Try to stop the thinking altogether. Even admiring the peace that appears at that time. Just keep merely knowing without using any thoughts. The stillness doesn't last very long, maybe 10 minutes at most, and there's very light, almost imperceptible background thinking. Is that state still considered samadhi? Samadhi can be 100% or be partial samadhi. If you still have some thought, then it's not 100% samadhi. You still have some thought. So you have partial samadhi. You have calm, but not completely calm. There are different stages of samadhi. Yes, they are divided into jhanas. Samadhi are jhanas. So you have the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana, and the fourth jhana. The goal is to reach the fourth jhana, but keep focusing on your meditation object and stop thinking altogether. When your mind stops thinking altogether and become completely calm, then you have reached the fourth jhana. But if you're still watching your breath, still reciting your mantra, you haven't yet reached the fourth stage of jhana. From Cave New, Pante, the concept of repentance is from Mahayana and not found in Theravada. Well, in Theravada, we also have to confess our bad karma. For monks, the Buddhas, every time the monk break a precept, the monk has to go and confess to another monk. This is the way of shaming oneself to make to prevent one from repeating the same mistake again. See, every time you break a rule, you go and confess to somebody to shame yourself in order to prevent yourself from uh, repeating the same mistake again. That's what the purpose of uh, confession in Theravada Buddhism. It's not for the elimination of your bad karma that you did. What you did, you could not erase. You will have to pay the consequence of that karma eventually, sooner or later. But confession is to shame yourself to stop repeating the same karma again in the future. From Gavin Dipong, Ajahn, is there a certain amount of time one should be able to maintain complete steady mindfulness before one is able to reach the fourth jhana? Thank you. Yes, you have to be able to maintain steady mindfulness before you can enter into the fourth jhana. But when you first starting practicing mindfulness, your mindfulness will come and go. But as you keep on maintaining mindfulness, eventually your mindfulness will be continuous. Once the mindfulness becomes continuous, then you will be able to enter into the fourth jhana that way. From Kenny Hunt, Tanajan, is it possible for one to attain to some level of enlightenment just at the point of death, but one suddenly and clearly understands that death is inevitable? Yes, if one can see the body as being anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, and is subjected to aging, sickness, and death. Anatta, there is no self. You are not the body. You are the mind. If you can see this, then your mind can then let go of the attachment to the body, let go of the desire not for the body not to die. Once you can do this, then you can become enlightened at the time of death. Some people need something like that of sickness to force them to develop mindfulness and wisdom. Like the father of the Buddha, he became enlightened 7 days before he died on his deathbed. The Buddha went and teach him the Dhamma, teach him to contemplate or to investigate the nature of the body as being anicca, dukkha, anatta. When he sees that and he let go of his attachment, then he could become enlightened right there and then. From Satyaku, dear Ajahn, when a person has attained Sotapanna in previous lives, how does the person know which number of lives he or she is already on out of the 7 lives? Normally he would know. This is just a number that a Sotapanna will come back on, because after he came back a few more times, he will get tired. He will know that birth is no good. Birth as a human being is no good. Then he'll try to stop his sexual desire, his sensual desire. When he could stop the sexual or the sensual desire, then he won't return as a human being anymore. So there's nobody to keep tab the number of lives left. This is just approximation of the number of lives that a Sotapanna will return as a human being. So don't worry, you don't have to worry. The the dukkha that a Sotapanna experiences as a human being will force it to stop returning before the 7 lives limit. From K. If New, Pante, when I start to focus on my breath to meditate, I can start feeling sensation of heart beating and finer feelings like wind blowing on the skin. Are these normal? Yes, they are normal, but you're not supposed to be watching this thing. You're supposed to be watching your breath only. You should ignore. Don't pay any attention to any things that arises. during meditation, because you will be distracted and you will not be able to advance in your practice. So whatever things, feelings or anything start coming up, don't pay attention. Come back to your breath. Keep focusing on your breath only. And then your mind can then become gradually calmer and calmer that way. Okay. This feeling should be ignored and brought back to breath. Right, that's right. Don't pay any attention to them. Ignore them. Come back to your breath. From Fei Yun Wong. Yes, I find that early morning is the best time for meditation. It's so much easier for the mind to stay quiet. Sometimes I want to laze in bed, but I'll tell myself not to waste 3 chances to have a good sit. That's right. Try to force yourself to do as much meditation as possible. Even if you don't get any result, at least you are doing it. You're pushing yourself because you have to practice before you can get the result. From Nabiti, Namaskara Ajahn. From Gao, query, Ajahn, what happens to greed, hatred, and delusion at the end of our practice? Are they destroyed by Satipana, or have they transformed in opposite energy like Metta, Karuna, Mudita? No, if you succeed in your meditation, in your practice of the Satipana, you will eliminate your greed, hate, and delusion because you know that they are bad for you. They are like germs in your body, which you take medicine to eliminate. You take the Dhamma medicine, the Dhamma practice to eliminate your greed, hatred, and delusion. Then all that is left is Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekkha. It's the final cessation, the cessation of delusion. Sadhu, beloved Master. Yes, the final cessation is the cessation of avijja. Avijja is the last fetter that you will be able to eliminate. Before that, you eliminate the other fetters first. Eventually, you reach avijja, and then you will then be able to uh, get rid of avijja by the wisdom of the Buddha, by the teaching of the Buddha. From Sweden, greeting Ajahn. During walking meditation, I keep reciting Bhutto, while I keep watching my body movement, like the right and left footstep. Is that okay? Yes, you can do that also. You can recite Bhutto and watch your step also. Or if you do not want to recite the Bhutto, just watching your step only, that is okay also. The purpose is to stop your mind from thinking. So you have to also watch whether you're still thinking or not. If you're thinking, it means you're still not watching your step or reciting your mantra continuously. I hope I answer your question. Are we supposed to either keep reciting Bhutto or just watch our step during walking meditation? You can do both, or either one of them. You can recite the mantra, but you also have to know that you're walking. Make sure that you don't step on something slippery and fall down. So you have to watch your step, and also, if you want to, you can recite the Bhutto as well. Or you can just keep watching your step only without having to recite the Bhutto. From Khom Nok, good morning Ajahn. I am from Singapore. I have no question now, just join to listen. Mahasatu for your teaching, appreciate it. Satu, Satu. Thank you. From Czech, Lincoln, dear Ajahn, dear Ajahn, we are so remarkably lucky to have your teaching and guidance. Words simply can't describe how grateful I am for you, Ajahn, and the only way I can think of to repay you is to keep on practicing and keep increasing my effort. With deep gratitude, love, and respect from Vancouver. Yes, this is the way to pay respect to your teacher, is to follow his teaching, keep practicing, because the teacher doesn't really want anything from you, but just want to see you succeed in your meditation practice, in your Dhamma practice, so that you can be free from dukkha, and then you can become another teacher to help spread the teaching of the Buddha to other people. We have about 4 minutes left before our meeting reach 1 hour mark. So if you are typing question, you can continue on doing the typing the question and send them in. But if you haven't yet typed any question, please don't do it because I will have to terminate this meeting in about 3 or 4 minutes from now. I'll answer the rest of the question that you send in that you have typed, but please don't send in any new question from now on. From Kaylin Chompu, thank you so much, Ka Ajahn. From Kong King Ratanawong, thank you so much. I like the weather philosophy. From Nabiti Ajahn, I get many time to meditation, but my mind still label like someone have no any mindfulness. What should I do to be mindful? I try to use mantra Bhutto Bhutto. Yes, just keep reciting Bhutto Bhutto. Don't pay attention to anything. Just keep reciting Bhutto Bhutto as you do things on your waking hours. Whatever you do, just keep reciting Bhutto along with what you do. Watch what you do and reciting Bhutto. Then you can have mindfulness this way. Okay, here's another question from assistant.ajahn.suchart@gmail.com from Asanka, Australia. How can we deal with extreme physical pain due to an injury? You just have to calm your mind and leave the physical pain alone. Don't wish it to go away by reciting a mantra or by focusing on your breath, and just try to pull your mind away from the physical pain and keep it focused on a meditation object such as a mantra or watching the breath. In this way, you will then help stop your mind from creating the desire for the pain to go away. And when there's no desire for the pain to go away, there would be no dukkha in the mind. The mind will become calm and peaceful and will be able to experience the physical pain without any discomfort. It can become, it can separate itself from the physical pain. So you should try to focus on a mantra or on your breath when you have physical pain. Don't wish the physical pain to disappear. Leave the physical pain alone. Should I still try to meditate with pain? Yes, you must, because this is the only way to deal with pain effectively. I have tried, but it is difficult to concentrate due to pain. That's because you haven't concentrated beforehand. You have to keep practicing mindfulness long before you meditate. You need strong mindfulness to be able to concentrate on your meditation object in the face of physical pain. I can reach samadhi, have achieved before. Could Ajahn please advise? Yes, you have to keep developing mindfulness before you meditate. You can do this from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Keep reciting a mantra, do some chanting, or keep watching your body movement. Keep watching what your body is doing. Don't let your mind go to think about the past or the future, or think about anything that you don't have to think. Stop it by reciting with a mantra or chanting, or keep watching what you do. Then you will have mindfulness. And when you have painful physical pain, you can then meditate and stop your mind from being restless, agitated, and stressful. From Savika Varata, I let my mind wander and think of other things, while acknowledging the pain, as I still simultaneously have it recede to a secondary, to third, etc., part of my radar. As long as you can pull your mind away from the physical pain, that's, that's okay. Because when you're not thinking about the pain, then you will have no craving or desire for the pain to disappear. Then your mind will have no dukkha. So you can use other means of uh, method of pulling your mind away from the physical pain. Whichever method you like, and if you can do it and then calm your mind, that is also considered to be okay. From Fei Yin Wong, thank you Ajahn for the explanation. Like others, I'm so grateful for being able to have met you and would like to thank you sincerely for your tireless teaching. Okay. From Tik Tavisa, Namaskaran Ajahn Ka. From Savika Borata, the human body can only take so much pain before it shuts down on its own. Let it shut down on its own. Yeah. You cannot stop the body from shutting down when the time for it to shut down. Just let it be. But you don't shut down your mind at the same time. Your mind continues on. If you if you have mindfulness and wisdom, your mind will be peaceful, calm, and undisturbed by the shutting down of the body. From Nirosha, I am very grateful for your guidance. It's very helpful to be calm and contented when the happiness arises in the mind, seeing the goodness of the teacher and the fellow practitioner. Sadhu, and may you always be well and happy, Ajahn. Thank you. From Sweden, thank you, Ajahn, for answering my question. From One Vimon, Sadhu. From Adelaide, Bethany, Grafton, Ajahn. How are you, Adelaide? Did you just come in? Did you just get up? I hope you're doing well, both physically and mentally. Keep pushing on in your practice. Don't be deterred by your physical ailment. The body is normal for the body to be sick, but it's abnormal for the mind to be sick. And you can prevent the mind from being sick by practicing the Dhamma. From Gaupuri, dear Tanjan, have a healthy and blissful day. You live in the shrine of our heart. Thank you, Gaupuri. Happy to see you again. Happy to hear from you again. From Nobility Vandami Ajahn. Okay, that's about all the comments that is here. Okay, thank you very much for joining this meeting. I hope it helps you somewhat. If not, please wait for the next meeting. In the meantime, keep practicing, keep being mindful, be happy and healthy and safe. Thank you and goodbye.